Okay, how is everybody this Monday? Yes, smiles. Hey, I can see smiles from everybody who has their camera on, so that's great. Um, Guys, some really exciting stuff tonight. Thank you for taking the time to hop on here. Thank you for prioritizing this call. Thank you for what you add to this team. I don't think we say that enough, but each one of you is super special to us, and these moments on Monday nights are something we really enjoy doing. And tonight is really special. We believe it to be really special. Some of the leaders on the team have been working in the background for the last couple of weeks, and we're going to announce what we think to be a very community-led, um, person growing opportunity. And it's something that we think can change the course of your business. If you have goals right now that are, if you're looking at them and they're quite large goals and you're wondering how you're going to get there, we believe this will help you. We have poured into other mentors and learning, and we became students again over this period of time to see how we can continue to pour value into you guys. We have big goals as leaders, and we know you guys have goals, and so we needed to become more. I think that's something that's really important. We needed to get that student mindset back on. We needed to learn some new stuff, and we're excited to bring that to you guys. So I think it's going to be a pretty jam-packed evening. For those of you who are watching on Facebook on the live stream, don't forget to say hello or that you're catching the replay there. It's always great to see. We know lives are busy, and so we understand if you can't make it live on the call, but if you're watching later on, it's great to know how far the reach is getting there. But something we're talking about tonight is the launch of LifeVantage's new GLP-1 activator. We do not have secret insider information on this that you guys are not privy to. If you've been joining the calls on a monthly basis from corporate and the Momentum, I think it's Momentum Mondays, you're seeing the same information we are. But we know in October in Kansas City at Market Connect that we will be launching a new GLP-1 activator. And we've seen some posts starting to drip out there. We've seen some team members on our team, maybe. We've seen people around the entire company. We've seen cross-line cousins start to make posts and create this level of excitement, create an environment of people saying, hey, I want more information. We know, and maybe some of you have a list of individuals where you made a drip comment, or maybe even in passing, you said something to them and they said, hey, I want more information. And so you started creating a list, and I'll use the term database. If you haven't started doing that, I encourage you, and we're going to give you and arm you with very specific tools and actions that you can take to do this. And so, with the creating of that database, there's just one thing that was laying heavy on my heart, and that is this product launch is still, I think it's 68 days away today. It's still some time away. So, what happens if we get somebody's name now and we put them on our list, and maybe the conversation stops there and they don't talk to us or we don't work with them over the next 2 months? And then the product launches and we reach out and we're like, hey, it's here, here's a shopping cart, right? Feels very transactional. Sorry, I got to look at these text messages here to see is, oh, okay. Feels very transactional in nature. And so with this, we are trying to remove any form of that transactional kind of feeling. We're trying to remove the sales resistance from these conversations and maybe that burden that way. And what we want to make sure is that we're staying in front of those individuals over the next 2 months, that we are growing them with information, that we are staying in the front frame of their mind, that as they're on their journey to health, specific to a GLP-1 kind of area and activator, that we can help grow them and give them information and educate, add value to them in that area. GLP-1 for many of us is like, I've never heard of this before, but everybody's talking about it. People are throwing around drug names that relate to the GLP-1 area. What does that mean? What are people are talking about side effects? All there's so much information. And what I want you to know is we're becoming professionals and we're becoming students on that GLP-1 information. And we want to encourage you guys to also become. For us to be able to position a product, we need to know the issues that people are having so that we can add value to that life. And so we have decided that there's this neat structure that we can create. We've done it in Team Upward where you can create a group that's based on community. Okay. Having people in conversation together that may not ever cross paths, in person and but there's digitally an option that way. So creating a community, creating education, creating excitement around the launch, but meeting people where they're at for their goals, for their needs, for their questions or hesitations to what's going on in the market. GLP-1, by the way, and just to kind of sidebar here, a lot of people think GLP-1 and are instantly going to weight loss. And I want you to realize that GLP-1, if you're just learning like me, is actually a hormone in the body. And our activator, once we consume it, will create more of that hormone in the body. And yes, people do experience positive results in the areas of weight loss for some, different reasons. Um, but they are also going to experience positive effects with hormones, with blood sugars, with cravings, with a myriad of other things that's different than like, hey, this product's going to help you burn fat and you're going to lose weight. And so if we establish that we have a lot to learn, we've decided we're going to create a community for learning, not only for you guys, but for customers, potential customers, existing customers that may be on our activation products. But we're also hoping to create a community that our referrals that we bring into the group actually refer other referrals into the group so that it creates this community of individuals that are engaging in conversation, people that, and I guarantee you this, and I said this on a call earlier today, I guarantee that there are people in your close-knit circle, whether you know it or not, whether that individual has been public with you about it or not, that are taking a GLP-1 drug, a synthetic drug, whether that be a Ozempic, whether that be Trulicity, or there's multiple of them, and they might be hurting because they might be experiencing side effects. They might not be having the results. They might be thinking about taking one of these drugs and wondering, what does that do for my body? They might actively be taking it and wondering, how do I make sure that my body is still doing appropriate things? Am I consuming enough protein? Am I continuing to work out because of X, Y, and Z? There's a lot of information out there, and what we are hoping to do is create that in a central source so that as we move from this transactional nature of our conversations that sometimes maybe feel sticky, that we are giving this information and this education that when they want more, when they want an alternative, when they want a natural component, when they want a sustainable, because you can't be on those drugs for long periods of times, when they maybe lose the weight that on a drug, that they come to us for that sustainable option. Now, what do I do after to maintain? And guys, I want to be very clear about this. And I also said this earlier with a group of leaders. We're not here to create an environment of bashing any form of drug, whether it be Ozempic or any of those options. We're not going to poo-poo to have us raise above that, okay? We're strictly giving the education and the encouragement and, hey, there's alternatives. And I think you guys can kind of realize that if we sit here and bash the decisions that they're quietly making, whether we know it or not, we're really slamming the door on them. And I think there's a point in time where they may come back. And based off of how you handle yourself in conversation or on social media, they're going to confide in you and you're going to be able to add value to their life in a very specific way. And that is what I'm alluding to here. I know this maybe feels a little bit long-winded, but what we want to focus on is growing the person. And I think I've said that a few times. So just kind of keep that in the back of your head. So I'm pleased to announce Amy and I, as well, with the assistance of some leaders, have created a group called Achieving Wellness Together. It is not going to be a LifeVantage specific group, though we will at times position LifeVantage products, specifically GLP-1 activators that we're going to launch in October. But it is really going to be that community of individuals around that wellness and education that way. I'm reading my notes. Thanks for bearing with me. I'm getting text messages from people that I know have opinions. So uh, if you need to jump in if I miss something. The group is already created. We've been working in the background, creating group rules, questions to be asked, content inside of it. We are lining up lives. We are lining up interviews with credited people from different backgrounds, experiences, whether that be chiropractors, whether it be trainers, whether it be pharmacologists, those different kinds of things. So really bring in that wealth of information. We think that this is different. This is going to be different than, hey, think of those weight loss groups where it's, I gave you some great recipes. Here's your shopping list, and, go make 2 weeks of great food, and, that kind of thing. Or, hey, here's your workouts for the next 7 days. Best of luck, that kind of thing. It's not going to be one of those. And we're hoping that stories get shared in here, because there's different people. If you think of this journey, that people are on specifically in this area right now, there are people at the beginning of it, the end of it, and in the middle of it. And we're hoping to bring those individuals together so that they can make a better educated decision and wellness for their lives.
Let me just say
So
something.
please.
I'm going to jump in really quick. Okay. So everybody knows Vitality Living, right? How big is that group? Do you feel lost in that group sometimes? Do you guys feel like you are really part of a tight-knit community in that group? No. It is a fantastic group. It's amazing for testimonies. Like, that's our testimony database. It is so, so rich. What we're talking about here, and what we've seen from other leaders who have already started to do it in LifeVantage, is cultivating a community like what Grant said we've done in Team Upward. Team Upward, do you feel like you're connected to people in Team Upward? Do you feel like people see you, they hear you, they encourage you? At any point in time, you could just text them. You could be your friends. That's why I dropped that name a crossline person. And people are like, I don't even know. I don't look at people as crossline. You know what I mean? Like, I get emotional about that because we all really have an amazing connection. Now, imagine taking that and bringing in all these people that are looking for this support, are trying to sort through the weeds of this weight loss world, hormone world. We all have had, goodness, even in our own team, we've had hormone struggles. It doesn't matter if it's postpartum or if it's menopausal or whatever it is. And so the vision that Grant's trying to create here, I just get so excited because, like, think about the cultivation of a community that we can really bring together. And like somebody mentioned in the comments, like Sarah, I think mentioned, this is going to compound over years. This is what we are activating with LifeVantage isn't one of those short-term fixes. It's, again, that long-term lifestyle that's really giving people back control over an area that they have felt very lost in. So doesn't that just hit you in the heart? I know it does me. And so I just wanted to speak up a little bit. I know Grant's doing an amazing job at kind of explaining those details, but I wanted you to just see it, the why, another perspective.
And so the clarity behind all of this, and clarity with the launch is where we want you guys to be able to walk away from this evening. Because I think there is a lot of information that goes out there, and then I've got my list, and maybe some names are on a notepad, and then some names are on my phone, and conversations are happening everywhere, and those kinds of things. What we are saying is, right now, starting today, 68 days left until launch, we don't want you feeling like, man, I'm not taking advantage of every opportunity that's available to me right now. Or this is my first product launch with a company. I've never done this before. What does it look like? Or you get to Kansas City and you hear all the stories of this team's doing this and this team's doing that, and all the preparation that they've done over the last 68 days. And you're looking back saying, oh, well, I wish I had done that, or I wish I'd been led into or mentored into something else. So what we have put together is a very clear and defined group and path for you guys to take starting on this 68th day until deadline October 12th, at Market Connect when we launch this product. We have created social media posts and given examples of social media posts that will be in a guide, inside of Upward this evening and Team Upward this evening, on a process and a flow of how you begin to build that attraction, how you get people commenting. We don't want you to just feel like, hey, I'm going to throw something out there and see if it sticks. That doesn't ever feel great either. And so we've also included our mission statement and what our kind of guiding principles are for this group, so that you really understand the vision. So please check those out. I don't want to sit here and go through those materials for you. There are pictures posted. You'll see the kind of group image, and then you'll see our mission statement and our guiding principles. And then you'll see a second graphic there that will be a kind of process document, an onboarding document, and a divvy up of responsibilities. What can you expect from Amy and Grant, and what is my responsibility inside of this new group? Let me remove some burden from you for a second. We're not asking that you go out there and find content and create content to put inside of this group. Amy and I have a day by day based off of, and I go back to this, based off of the workshop that we went to, paid money for, and attended. There's very specific content and designs of content, and when you post that and how you break that up. We're going to take care of that for you. And I hope you guys trust us in the way that we approach and share and educate. Um, but what we are looking for you is, when something aligns with you in that, comment in there. When you have an individual that's you're trying to build a relationship with, comment in there. Be a part of that. Be encouraging. If you see something out there in the general public, a news article, a video, a podcast, an interview, those are kinds of things, share those with us, and we'll look at kind of our design and creation of content and see where we can fit that in. We want to be very succinct in what we're sharing. We don't want to cause confusion. We don't want to cause anything that might take away from this path and this journey for them. So no, we're not asking for crazy involvement. What I am going to cover now is the next steps from this moment going forward.
I also want to add, we are in the process of lining up a lot of interviews. So there's going to be a lot of interview style posts in there as well from experts, because we can't sit here and claim to be experts. We want to bring in the experts to speak to our people. So that's what we're currently lining up a bunch of interviews with as well. And so we'll try to promote to that, kind of like Wednesday Wellness, but we'll promote to this group like, hey, this expert speaking in this group, bring them in. And that kind of a thing. It's going to be awesome.
So this training that I've referenced a couple of times, we have shared that training with other leaders on the team. So Jennifer Katzer, Jalynn Fisher, Fonda Nelson, the Scows, Rachel, Amy, and I, we have either taken the workshop or are in the process of going through that workshop. There are some incredible benefits in there, but it is time intensive. And so we're hoping that we can guide you through this process so you don't have to dedicate the hours upon hours to the workshop. And that you guys, once again, can trust our mentorship and our leadership to create the environment that you will trust us with your prospects. And once again, we're trying to create that community where once a prospect of yours personally is added, they're enjoying this group and the information in the community so much that other prospects are inviting other prospects, bringing in other referrals. And how incredible. Just look at that vision. If for the next 68 days, we just focus on getting people in that group. So your guys' job is, and our job as well, is getting people in the group. And we've got content that's going to come alongside you and really nurture that relationship. And so when we go to Market Connect and we have a launch product, we have a warm market of names upon names. Okay, a database of individuals that you guys have invited into it, and the referrals upon referrals. Now, that's just the first part of the story. We now have a launched product. Your business overnight could double, your business overnight could quadruple, depending on the work and effort that we do now for the next 68 days. But what happens, guys? This is where I get shivers and chills. Chivers. I'm trademarking that. Don't take it. Um, Here's what happens, and here's the exciting part. When you get a group of individuals at a product launch with something I consider to be, and you've heard this term from Daniel, vanity wellness. What I mean by that is you can see a before and after. You can see a physical change, which this product will have. When you've got, and I'm just going to use funny numbers, when you've got 300 people in a group and they all get this product at the same time at launch, and we've already built the community, the conversation, the relationship, and then it's day 5 and people are talking about what they're feeling, and then it's day 20 and people are talking about what they're feeling. Okay, can you imagine the excitement? And we already went through one phase of adding a bunch of people to the group. Can you imagine what's going to happen when you have the vanity results and the experiences and the testimonies, that those people are going to just open the floodgates to the group and say, you got to get in here. You got to try this product. You got to see what I've been pouring into for the last 68 days in this awesome community of individuals that I've really come to enjoy. Guys, that's another cycle from what we're doing for these 68 days. That's a whole nother cycle. And what's so neat, guys, is October, the product releases. So October 12th, okay, think November 12th, think December 12th. So that's 2 months. If you give two people 2 months of results inside of our first wave of individuals, January is right around the corner. It's December 12th, exactly 2 months later. That's when people are pivoting to these, hey, I want the new me. They're starting the conversation of what's the next thing for me. I'm trying to make changes. I'm not just talking about weight loss. I'm talking about overall health and wellness, which is why this isn't titled some weight loss group. Those individuals in December are going to get referred into this group because we've already been having success for the last 2 months, and the group's going to again triple, quadruple. I hope you see the vision for that and what can possibly come from that social proof once the launch actually takes place. So, and please, guys, they're adding to my commentary, I think, in the chat. So don't hesitate to review that. And thanks for putting it in the chat. Otherwise, I get totally off topic. I have 6 minutes left to go on just a couple of the responses. Where do we go from here? Amy put a post in Team Upward. Our first wave is 3 days. Okay, we're just asking for 3 individual activities over the course of 3 days. And this is very social media perspective. Okay, the first one is an engagement post. Okay, this is, and you can look at my social media. Maybe you saw mine over the last week. I think I asked people what their favorite kind of pie was. And everybody's in there dropping their favorite kind of pie. Okay. It creates fun, conversation and engagement that way. But what it does to an algorithm inside of social media is it will uplift your next post following that, because you had such high engagement there. It's going to bring you to the front as you're starting to scroll because you've had so much engagement there. It's kind of expecting that. It's going to feed it to them. Okay. So we've already designed, you don't have to follow us verbatim, but we wanted you to have the idea of what that means. I think we have 6, 7, or 8 different options in the guide of what you can do to get high engagement. So you're going to put that out onto social media. It will be pretty late in the evening. Maybe save it for tomorrow. The pros, Jalen and Amy, can call me crazy. They can write in the chat, no, make it still tonight, but maybe I'm suggesting tomorrow. It also buys me time to finish up the group. So maybe start tomorrow. Okay. Start with an engagement post tomorrow, something that's fun, and start it, earlier in the day. So it gives time for people to really spill into it and enjoy that. It's an engagement post. Okay. All for fun. Number two, now that you're at the front of people's social media, introduce yourself. We have examples of that as well. Amy just got done introducing herself. Follow that format. Um, and realize that in both of those posts, there is a call to action. I want you to do something. In the first one, it's you need to comment what your favorite piece of pie is. In the second one, on your introduction, you're asking in the first line at the top, very important. What's the one word that comes to mind when you think of me? Okay. That's getting engagement. So once again, creating that ability to put you at the top of the list. But introduce yourself, be authentic, be real. That's where the value is going to come from. So that's day two. And then there's day three. Day three is going to be a post that at the end of it is going to bring a very simple, very easy, no sales resistance invitation to the group. We have an example or two of that in there. If you think you've seen one from somewhere else that we haven't curated and put in there, please don't hesitate to ping us it and we'll get it added to the group. Just know we have tried to stay away from weight loss specific drip posts that way because that's only a piece of the puzzle. And if we just get siloed into talking about that, we're going to do all of ourselves a disservice. So if you have those, bring them to us. But that's day three. Day three is this very simple drip into, hey, I've got a community. Do you want to be a part of it? And then that call to action is, I'm in, I'm interested, I want more information, that kind of thing. And you've already mentioned the group. And so at that point in time, they will be invited into the group. And we have a very systematic, this is not Vitality Living. Okay. This isn't just add them into the group and maybe tag them in a thing. They will receive, each one of them will individually receive a welcome message that shares with them what the design of the group is and a welcome to the community. They're going to be reached out by Amy or myself individually and specifically. When they join the group, there is a area where they ask questions. And we've designed questions very simple, not deep diving, but hey, what are you most interested in the area of health and wellness? What's a goal that you have for yourself? And I forget what the third question is in there. But just so we begin to learn about the individuals that are going to be a part of this community. Because what we're going to do is we're going to very specifically base our content in this group on the way that they answered the questions. We're once again not going to be sitting here throwing a dart at the wall, hoping our content sticks. We're going to look at the questions and we're going to design our content to answer those questions to meet their goals. We're going to take our conversation to them when they join our group. We will have a conversation with every single one of them. Amy and I are in the process of recording a welcome video to the group so that every person will see that welcome video on their first day of joining. And then we're going to encourage them as well through our conversation and after welcoming to the group to create an introduction post of themselves.
So
I know
as
I'm
we
getting
into that group, so as we add you into that group, because you guys have to be in there before you invite people, right? We're going to put a link in Team Upward that you guys can ask to join. We would ask that you please take time to do the questions, answer the questions that you would want your people to answer, because that's going to also help. And honestly, the biggest grind of creating this group is not even been the content, it's just been the prep work. And so there's a lot that's not in there yet. So as you're coming into the group, you are going to follow a format to just introduce yourself so that as you're bringing your people in, they're seeing your face, right? They're seeing you as a person in there. And it's going to really kickstart this whole effect.
So we are going to give our leaders the next, I'd say probably about the next 12 to 14 hours to introduce themselves so that you guys have some great content to go off of to see the form at which they're going to use and to help memory jogger yourself. Once they've done that, we will then put the group link out there. You are not required to join this group. You are not required to participate. Okay. We're not going to just spam invite each and every one of you who's watching this now or the replay. You will have to click the link yourself and opt in. And like Amy said, pay attention to the flow, answer the questions. And once you are in, look at the welcome post or the introduction post that came before and duplicate them for yourself. Please share your story. All right. Here's something that I wrote down as I say goodbye. Mission is born out of the people I serve and the way that I help them. I'm not talking about how we're going to grow our business as step one. Let's just focus on that. Let's figure out what our mission is, what your mission is in parallel to what we're doing right now, and how are you going to do that? And when you ask yourself, I'm not qualified, I've never done this before, there's nothing special about me, I'm not at that rank, I haven't been doing this very long. There's a phrase that stuck out to me. I shared it on the poll call, and I'll leave you with this. Shine the light from where you are. What I mean by that is you are on a journey for yourself right now, that there is somebody else that's either a couple steps behind you or in parallel, step and step next to you, but you don't know that. And if you just share your journey, where you're at, and how you're continuing to pour in, how you're continuing to develop, so that you're shining from the exact point where you're at, not becoming someone else, not inflating who you are, but authentically being yourself. Shine that light from where you are, and there are other people who are going to be touched and connected to you because of it. This is probably my favorite call I've ever done. We always try to throw in some great value to you guys. We hope you hear our heart, feel our heart, and our emotion for that. We look forward to any feedback that you have if we're barking up the right tree. If you think that this is something you're excited about, we don't know unless you guys tell us, but we're excited for these next 68 days to bring you guys along with us. So jump over to the Sean and Michelle poll call. Direct links are in Telegram or in Upward for that. And guys, have a great week ahead. And once again, don't hesitate to reach out. Thanks so much.